All right, Chargeway Podcast, we're back, and I'm joined by Laura and Caddy. And fair to say, it was a struggle to get anyone else to join us, wasn't it?
It was pretty hard.
Okay. Talk me through, where are you at in the day? Like, what have you guys just done?
As in the gym?
Yeah. Talk me through the workout.
Caddy and I did squats.
We did. We did.
1 rep maxes.
Surprise weight squats.
Yeah. Controversial. Not sure if we got 95 or 90.
Yep.
Math.
Okay. So far, you're not setting the greatest example for other charges, but that's okay. Yes, and then the Metcon. Caddy, talk me through it.
We did lots of farmers carries, so our forearms are absolutely on fire. And we did push-ups and front squats.
Perfect. And I think we've got a third person joining us, which is perfect because we're gonna. I'm sort of making this segment up as we go. And Alicia, welcome to this segment. Basically, what I'm going to ask you guys is, I want to hear a little bit about, first of all, who you are. I'm gonna keep the questions pretty specific. Then I would like to know, and I'll give you some time to contemplate this. I'd like to know what originally drew you to CrossFit, and then I would like to know perhaps what has kept you coming, if that's something different to the original thing that drew it originally. Yes, yep, very good.
Yeah.
And then something that perhaps has surprised you about either Charge or CrossFit, just like, hey, this is not what I was expecting when I was on the outside of that thing. So I'll try to control this as best I possibly can.
Good
Caddy,
luck,
tell us who you are, perhaps what you do for a living, and what's a hobby of yours, and then we'll move on to Laura, and we'll sort of go around the circle like that.
No worries. So I'm Caddy.
Why do we call you Caddy?
Why do we call me? A very original footy nickname. My name is Susan, much to Alicia's absolute delight. She thinks it's the funniest thing ever.
That's funny.
But yes, Caddy is what people call me. For a living, I work in public health. I work at Diabetes Victoria, and I also coach Northern Nights under 18 girls as an assistant coach. So footy is a big passion of mine.
Love it. That's awesome. Laura.
I am Laura. They just call me Laura or Loz.
Loz.
Very original. And I am... What am I? I don't know. I work in housing finance, but I can't do maths, so I'm more on the policy side of things. So basically like a little government ant.
And you can be whatever you want to be on this podcast.
Thank you.
Leish?
So I'm Alicia. I don't have really any nicknames.
I go with Leish, but I think that's the only one.
That's about the only one. I like my white wine. That's my hobby.
Is that your hobby?
That's your hobby. All right, I might just edit that out of the podcast. That's all right. Okay. All right, I've given you a little bit of time to think. What was the original, and it might be something really simple, what was the original attraction to starting either exercise or CrossFit, Caddy?
For me, I've been playing footy a long time, and I'm old now. So I tried to retire like 5 years in a row and finally made the call.
Sure.
Which left me with a bit of a space for something to challenge myself and push myself a bit. And I always thought CrossFit was super intimidating.
Yep.
And saw people like doing some pretty impressive things. So it probably took me a long time to work myself up to coming here. Only a very convincing, very bossy friend of mine, Lindsay Clark.
Who is also here, by the way.
I'm watching pretend to warm up in there.
A real skill of hers.
Got me along. So that's
awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Loz?
I had always been into sport and then was a gym goer before I came to CrossFit. And I think I'd always known that CrossFit was out there, but like Caddy, I felt a bit intimidated by it. I don't know why. I think there was just a bit of a misconception around CrossFit. And then one day I thought, I really want the challenge.
Yep.
And I'm going to go.
Cool.
And I haven't looked back.
Cool. So far, like both of you have mentioned, like the challenge aspect of it was like important too. Awesome. Leish?
Yeah, so I've always been into sport, and I was running for ages until I had my first hip injury, and then I couldn't really run anymore. So I was going to the gym. I actually met Loz in the gym. We were going to where did we go? What's the
The pink one.
The pink one.
Yeah.
We went to the pink gym together.
Right.
We won't name the brand.
Sure. Yeah, I don't want to get done for IP or defamation on this podcast, please.
No, I literally can't put my finger on what the name of it is.
Yeah.
Still.
Let's keep it like that.
And we were both sort of feeling like the classes weren't very challenging.
Okay.
And then Loz was like, I'm going to try CrossFit. And I was like, no, I'm not coming. That's too hard. I can't possibly. It looks awful. Like, I think that's all for fit people. And then after 2 weeks, she's like, I think you just come. I've signed you up for like a trial.
I vaguely remember that, actually, I think. Okay.
And and then I tried it and I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun.
And then we brought another friend over.
And then we brought another friend.
Yeah.
You guys have
and,
definitely been on the recruiting drive.
Yeah, recruiting friends to
God
CrossFit.
bless you.
We're Kool-Aid drinkers and pourers.
and porous. Okay, so I love what I'm hearing, inspired by the challenge of it. And I'm assuming, without putting words in your mouth, you still find it challenging every day because it is. But has there been other aspects of it that have, I guess, kept you coming? Because you've all been doing it, and Caddy, you're the newest to us, but it's been over a year now. What's sort of been something that's kept you coming back? Because it's not easy to rock up for training every day.
No, it's both the variety in what we do all the time and the blocks, and so you can kind of build over a block. And I particularly find gymnastics incredibly difficult, and I'm still motivated to come and try and challenge myself. The scaling across all of the workouts is very helpful for me.
Sure.
Because I'm finding that I can really push myself in some, but I know I'm a beginner in other, but that's okay. So I find that really motivating.
Awesome.
But definitely the main thing is the people. All of us have just come from a 7 a.m. class. It's the pretty regular occurrence for us, and it's just like it's lots of fun and made some really nice friends out of it. So that's definitely the thing that keeps me coming back.
And if you're not part of the 7 a.m. crew, shout out to you. We still love you. But 7 a.m. crew is definitely well represented on this podcast. Laura, what's something that sort of kept you coming back?
Definitely the community side of things. I actually went to another CrossFit gym before I've landed here, and Leish and I joined that just as we headed into COVID, and the community that we found there are still some of my best friends, and they definitely have rallied around each other inside and outside of the gym. And then I've come here thinking like, oh, my dance card is full. I don't have room for more gym friends, and that's wildly untrue.
Sure.
And have found that same sense of community here. And then in terms of the workouts, I think very much an all or nothing sort of person and go in really, really hard. And
Really? I hadn't noticed that.
blowing myself up and I'm really hard on myself. And I think I've found a really sweet spot here where everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, and it's like really chilled my brain out. And
Awesome.
I'm just like, you know what, just keep chipping. Just keep chipping away. Good weeks, bad weeks, just happy to be here.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
More consistent. Yeah.
Leish, something that sort of kept you coming about?
Well, yeah, definitely community. I think for me, I've never been the kind of person that could have a gym membership and go to the gym on my own.
Sure.
Like, I want that class atmosphere, and getting up and knowing that I'll get a text message from Kimber if I don't show up is a
God bless you, Kimber.
great level of accountability. For that consistency on days when I'm like, I'm sore and I hurt, but I just want to hang out with my friends.
Yep.
And then the other one is just unlocking a new skill and
Awesome.
working on something and then being like, I can do that thing now
Sure.
that I could not do before. It's just like, as an adult, when you are like, okay, I've got this set of things that I do in my life and I'm good at a lot of them. You don't often do new things.
Yep.
And when you are challenged to be like, I just actually can't do that thing. This is really hard. And then you work at it and then you get it. It's that sense of achievement is just so great.
That is such an astute observation, because often as adults, we basically stop trying new things and stop learning. And like as a kid, you're basically learning all the time and you just get used to, okay, I'm in an environment where this is new. But as an adult, you just get so good, like you said, at your job. You're like, you could do it with your sleep half the time for a lot of us.
I do it.
Well, so do I, and I coach you guys. No. Okay. I'm not going to take up any more morning coffee time, but I do have one more question for you. Just think like a misconception that you had, or not even a misconception, but something that you perhaps have been surprised by, and just when you reflect on what you thought CrossFit might be, oh, it's actually different to that. Is there something that stood out to you as like, well, I was wrong about that thought that I had before getting into it? Caddy?
Yeah, definitely. That CrossFit's only for, complete athletes who have muscles on muscles on muscles. I just was really surprised at the range of people who are at the gym and that every single person is being challenged and on their own journey. That's been really surprising and wonderful. Like, it's really, really awesome to see and again, really, really motivating. So that's my biggest
Beautiful.
myth buster.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Mythbuster. That's a better name for this segment. Oh my God. Okay, you can host the podcast. All right.
For me, I would say when I started, it was CrossFit gives you injuries.
Okay.
I think that was a really big one at the time. So, like 5 years ago. And I would actually come out of that saying, I have been a person who has been riddled with injuries. And CrossFit has actually given me the base to be far more injury-free more often.
Yep.
And the perceptions around like poor form, absolute bullshit.
Yep.
Sorry if you're a non-swearing podcast.
That's okay. I swore at the start of the podcast, so I'm glad someone else has done it now.
Good. Because the form correction and coaching that I have received has been second to none. I've never had that in my other gym environments.
I agree with
That's
that.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, they've stolen all of the
They're two strong ones.
I think, I think that scaling is failing because it's not. That every workout is what you need it to be, and particularly as someone in the elderly range, as
Elderly geriatrics CrossFit
with having had a few significant injuries. I think I come and I do the workout that works for me. I challenge myself, I push myself. Some days I don't because I can't.
Yep.
But where I can, I do. And it's not a failing to do a different workout to everyone else, or to do the scaled option, or to take the so-called easier path, because that's hard for me on the day. So
Awesome. You may have gone third, but I feel like you came through pretty strong then. Well done.
Yes, well done.
Now,
Michelle.
speaking of new skills, how have we found our first Chargeway podcast? We feel comfortable on the mic?
I'm actually envisaging myself doing like song routines.
It's a bit news desky, this setup, but whatever.
This is very fun.
I'm right at home here.
You seem really comfortable. All right, well, this might be the first of many between us. Guys, thanks so much for joining us on the Chargeway podcast.
Thanks, Ed.